Hi, this is Osman. Welcome to my channel, Yoga Wellness 786. My website is yogawellness786.com. And I am an energy healer, yoga and meditation teacher, as well as an entrepreneur for several decades with extensive experience in both, practicing yoga, meditation, and energy work, as well as teaching, um, uh, you know, to thousands of students worldwide across the globe. Right, I have students in over 100 countries, and over the decades, the difference between me and most other people in my field is the number of consistent years of experience and practice and teaching, and the variety of it, because I was very curious and I studied different aspects of yoga, and I tried to go into all the magical aspects, but in a safe manner. I didn't go The one thing that I never did, what everyone is ready to do, is go and get initiated, right? To this day, I never go and got initiated physically, from some spiritual master or so, because I studied the theory behind such initiations, and I did not want to be under the sway or the power or the influence, or of some cult or sect, or um, you know group of spiritual masters, and be the slave, so to speak. Not that people are saying that you'll become the slave. I'm not saying that, but I perceived it, equivalent to that. That you're going to be, forever under, that person's sway, or beyond your lifetime, right? That which goes, beyond death, and who knows what is beyond death? Only when one experiences it for oneself, and if there's going to be some experience, right, we're going to know, what there is in reality. So of course we have our beliefs and our faiths, and myself having my own beliefs and faiths, right? But these are beliefs and faiths, right? And convictions in some cases. But reality is, going to come when we experience it. And so let's come to the subject of this video, is my experience in the third eye opening, right? So of course, I didn't physically, expect my third eye to open. I'm saying, of course, I mean, delete that word, of course. I mean, if one is practicing meditation that long, you're going to experience something like that eventually, okay? Especially if you're spending so many decades and studying meditating, the lengths of time that I used to spend. I used to spend up to, I would say, about 13 hours a day meditating consistently, on a daily basis. And I was fortunate, as you noticed, that's one of, I said I'm a energy healer, yoga, meditation teacher, and entrepreneur, meaning self-employed. Being self-employed meant that I had many stages of my life, or some stages of my life, financial freedom, as well as time freedom. The most, I would say, the most valuable tool that I had was, as a self-employed person, is time freedom, to be able to explore, traveling to various parts of the world, exploring knowledge from different parts of the world, from different masters and teachers, or experts, or people with wealth of knowledge, from remote parts, and this was, fascinating for me. But sitting and meditating, and I wasn't intent on opening, my third eye at the time. I was practicing, so I'll tell you, I was practicing some secret mantras. So a lot of the mantras are available, and people, practice them randomly. So when it comes to the secret aspects of it, is when a teacher or someone, who's a master of it, and my younger brother, he spent a lot of his time mastering mantras and that sciences, right? And he used to explain to me that this mantra is good to recite and that is good to recite, and you can get this and that, and so I decided, okay, let me try some of it, right? And I tried it, and so I'm not going to mention it because these mantras, there are certain rules and regulations, and if you don't follow those rules and regulations, in following those mantras, then you could have extreme adverse impact into your life, right? And also they create lifetime obligations, right, by reciting these things in that manner. And I don't want to go into those, but suffice to say, I tried one or two and experienced some, magical experiences. And this particular time, I experienced the awakening of the third eye unexpectedly, because I wasn't told that it will open the third eye. I just wanted to experience, the benefit of the mantra, in terms of improved life circumstances, and to see how it in reality, pans out. So I was busy, reciting the mantra, but also meditating at the same time with the open eye meditation, right? Looking at a fixed point and staring at it. Then I noticed the colors come about as it normally did: yellow, and then it went to golden color and a red color, right? It always used to follow that sequence until red, and I used to stay, mainly in the red color. Very occasionally it went to powder blue or green, very occasionally, but I used to stay in the red color, and then the red color became, on that particular occasion, darker and darker red and darker red, until everything became black, right? So like as though a light color, a black light color, right? So of course there's no black light, it's the absence of light, right? So everything turned into like a dark and pop. I felt myself pop upwards, like as though I popped out of my body slightly, right? And I felt very light and like I am floating, swaying like this to back and forth, sway. I'm felt, and I'm not in my body. I'm above, slightly out of my body, slightly above, and I can felt like I raised up, to that I'm here, and I raised up and I'm floating like without a body, right? I felt, and it was a frightening experience, right? It wasn't amazing or, oh my God, what is this? Because I'm used to being in my body and I'm not in my body anymore, right? What is this? I got a shock of my life. But what I do remember is suddenly I can see 360 degrees, and I knew the answers to every question that I had in my mind and in my life up to that point. The millions or thousands or hundreds, right, of questions that one could have had, but easily thousands of questions from childhood that were unanswered. Boom, I knew the answers to everything suddenly. It's just awareness of everything and the answers and solutions to problems, as well as solutions to other people's problems as well, suddenly became like as clear as day, and like daylight, right? Like daylight dawned on me. So in that vision, it everything seemed to be a darkish color. So it's not night and it's not day, right? It's like twilight, right? So everything seemed like I see. It was like I was in like a twilight zone, and I tried to shake myself off it and descended back, right? I descended back into my body from slightly above to my body, and I said, wow, so that is the third eye opening, right? So, of course, later I tried to study more deeply into the subject of the third eye, and the theories behind it specifically. And a lot of information is out, in the internet, stating that it's not a physical eye, it is the intuition that develops and so forth. So I would say no, it is an eye that you can see through, right? So the complete maturation of it you see through, physically an eye. And of course you can develop it, and with practice and reaching, a level, energetic level of, meditation, that it naturally at will can, open and close, at your will. And I didn't want to rush too much into that level, having experienced it, that you suddenly have too much of knowledge, right? Of 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 things that maybe you don't want to know, especially with regards to other people. You don't want to know everything, about every person that you meet. You don't want to be seeing things that is not in the visual experience of regular people, right? You don't want to be seeing entities and things that look crazy and strange, and something that look horrendous, fear personified, right? Some of the things that you can see. Do you want to see all those? I don't want to be seeing all those things, right? And my favorite, type of movie up to that point was horror movies, right? From that point onwards, I did not want to watch horror movies, right? Because I feared that I'm going to see these type of things in reality, and I didn't want to see these things. I wanted to enjoy. They say ignorance is bliss. I enjoyed that life, I wanted to live a normal life. At that time, when I had that experience, I was still a young man, with minor children and a business to run and a family and responsibilities. And I didn't want to be hearing, the voices that I was hearing. I mean, hearing, the thousands and thousands of voices, right? And and it's not like you're hearing voices like in the movies. It's like real voices, like real people, that are talking. And some of them have real personalities, and a lot of them are funny, right? Crack jokes, right? And this was the funny part. They crack jokes, and suddenly you burst. Of course, the jokes are funny, so you burst out laughing, right? So, in a quiet room, suddenly I burst out laughing, and I can't help but share the joke because I'm laughing, and the people want to know for what. No, there's this joke that, Of course, I'm not telling them. I'm hearing this voice, and the voice was telling this joke. I said, no, I thought of this thing. I thought of something funny, and I just was laughing. So they crack jokes, and then even while you're driving, right? You're driving your car, you're hearing the voices, and So I didn't want, this was what getting to me, the voices, all over, and like the visions I could control only when I meditate or open, myself to those visions. But the voices were 24/7, and I didn't want to, I felt I was going crazy, which in a sense it is the definition of crazy, right? Hearing voices, and what is that? That is also a definition of crazy, and I didn't want to self-certify myself. I didn't want to certify myself crazy. I said I willed and I wished for this thing to go away, and instantly it went away. Till this day, I didn't wish for that to come back, but I still retained a sense of it, that if I focus, I would get like a hint, or like an intuition, of what something is, like what someone is thinking. If I want to really focus, I could grasp what the person is thinking, like getting a hint of it. But I don't want to, I don't focus in. I don't want to know what other people are thinking and so forth, and delve into that and be nosy. Maybe it's something that excites some people, but it's not something that I felt happy with my own thoughts, and I was comfortable with what was in my own head, and there was enough things that I needed to do in my own life than to worry about other people's life, right? So that was my personal experience, on the third eye opening. And I didn't want to, open it without having reached that level energetically, right? I didn't want to force open that. And look into it. And of course, it's not that easy to open. And had I known that it's so difficult, I wouldn't have got it closed in the first place. When I closed it, I didn't know it's going to be such a mission to physically. I tried many times to like willfully open it, and it wasn't there. But I didn't want to focus too hard on it, because whenever I focus something, and they say be careful what you wish for. So I'm very cautious, about trying to fast forward certain things that didn't come, naturally, or I'm not energetically ready for that stages. So that's my experience of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you wish to contact me or have any questions, feel free to contact me through my website, yogawellness786.com. Please remember also that our therapy is on energy healing and yoga meditation and lifestyle habits and wellness and nutrition is not a replacement for medical treatment. If you have any medical condition, please consult your doctor, right, first, and do things according to his advice. Don't just start practicing yoga or take advice from what you learn online without first discussing it with your doctor, right? And that it's safe to do so, because something that may be safe for 1,000 people may not necessarily be safe to you personally, due to certain things unique in your medical condition that you need to discuss with your doctor as well, right? And even the practice of yoga may seem to be very safe practices, but you need to practice under a master, yoga master, or a qualified yoga professional who's got extensive experience and able to guide you correctly, right? These are not simple, this is not just exercises, right? There's something, serious behind it. And you need, professional guidance when you delve into these things. So take care always and look after